What's up guys, it's Travis and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about this new altcoin called OFFSHIFT. And so if you guys are excited for today's video, then please make sure to hit that thumbs up button down below and subscribe if you wanna see more content like this in the future. Let's jump right into it. Alrighty guys, jumping right into it. Taking a look at OFFSHIFT on CoinGecko. First off, let's just take a look at the price. Right now it's at $1.78. with a market cap of $4 million. All right, so taking a look at OFFSHIFT's chart, it looks like at the very beginning of when it was first listed, it had this huge shoot up here to almost $4.50, and then it dropped down and found this bottom right here around 50 cents. And then it's just slowly been uptrending ever since, but it really hasn't had this huge pump yet, like we've seen with a lot of the other altcoins. So I'm really liking this chart right now. So OFFSHIFT is a privacy coin, and right now we have a couple of privacy coins, but they're not on the Ethereum network. They're on other networks, and then they can be brought to the Ethereum network by being wrapped. And so one of the most well-known privacy coins right now that we have is this coin called Monero. So taking a look at Monero's market cap, we can see that it's sitting right here at $2.6 billion. There is so much room to grow here between OFFSHIFT and Monero's current market cap. And so these kind of gaps are what I look for as an investor. So let's dive in a little bit deeper into OFFSHIFT and take a look at their website. So OFFSHIFT is a cryptographically private offshore storage and DeFi protocol on Ethereum, and the first dual-sided public and private protocol to be built entirely on a public blockchain. So that's a huge shift from what Monero is right now. OFFSHIFT has two native assets: XFT, a public tradable ERC20 token, which means it's tradable on Ethereum, and ZK assets, which are private, stable valued ZK ERC tokens. OFFSHIFT is a two-way bridge architecture connecting the public and private sides of the ecosystem, allowing value to flow freely from one side to the other. An incentive model constructed to encourage storage on the private side through staking returns, while simultaneously incentivizing token ownership on the public side as the tradable supply of XFT decreases. So again, the XFT token is the token that grants entry into the OFFSHIFT ecosystem and gives their users the ability to shift to and from ZK assets. It's the public, tradable side of the OFFSHIFT ecosystem, and its value is determined by the market. While ZK assets include ZK USD, ZK Bitcoin, and ZK ETH, and virtually any other asset to which users want to peg value. They are the private, stable valued side of the OFFSHIFT ecosystem and can only be minted by burning XFT. ZK assets are the first cryptographically private stablecoins on Ethereum. Alright, so now let's come down here and take a look at OFFSHIFT's white paper. So at the beginning of their white paper, they start with, "Crypto is not a currency. In order to fulfill the three functions of money, a currency should be a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account." And then they continue on with explaining what each one of those mean. They're talking about volatility here, and volatility at present is the overriding factor undermining crypto's ability to serve as money or a reliable currency. This is one of the things that OFFSHIFT is trying to solve by creating a stable coin that's pegged to the US dollar, Bitcoin, ETH, etc. And then they dive in deeper here, talking about the stable coins that we have today and some of their shortcomings. While the introduction of centralized fiat-backed stablecoins like Tether, USDC, TrueUSD, Paxos, and the Gemini dollar have sometimes provided a solution to the volatility problem, they miss the mark in all other areas. Fiat-backed stablecoins are centralized or for-profit business. These business models take after banks. They generate revenue the same way that banks do. Funds deposited with stablecoin issuers, like funds deposited in banks, are invested. Like a bank, issuers must keep enough cash on hand to fulfill redemptions back to cash, but invest enough customer funds to turn a profit. Despite their use of words like decentralized and redeemable one-to-one, for all intents and purposes, fiat-backed stablecoin issuers are simply banks. And then they continue on to say that Tether is essentially just a fractional reserve bank, which means they don't have all the funds on hand. They're investing some of those funds in order to create a profit. And so essentially what they're saying here is that the whole reason a lot of us are even coming to the crypto space is to get away from the banks because of the fractional reserve, because of the risk that we take on as having money in the bank. And so they're saying that having more banks here is not the solution. The XFT token is listable, tradable, speculative, and convertible into ZKUSD. The XFT token is the utility token that enables use of the OFFSHIFT protocol and potentially the volatile side of the ecosystem. XFT value is determined by the market. Like any ERC20 token, price will likely be driven by perceived utility and speculation. As liquidity is paramount in the model, an ERC20 token is ideal due to the number of popularity of the Ethereum DEX protocols. XFT is easily listed on DEXs, centralized exchanges, and easily integrated into any wallet app with support for Ethereum tokens. XFT is convertible into ZKUSD using a mint and burn mechanism made possible by Ethereum smart contracts. Other stable value private storage projects like Haven and Triton are forks of the Monero protocol and lack smart contract capability. While the ZK assets provide private, stable value, storable, stakeable, and spendable value. OFFSHIFT's ZK assets are the private, stable valued side of the OFFSHIFT ecosystem. They are the first cryptographically private stablecoins on any protocol. The value of assets like ZKUSD, ZKETH, and ZKBitcoin are pegged to the US dollar. The value of the assets like ZKUSD, ZKETH, and ZKBitcoin are pegged to the US dollar, Ether, and Bitcoin respectively. Privacy, value stability, and interest from staking incentivize the conversion of XFT to ZK assets. So they're really providing a lot of value on both sides of OFFSHIFT, both on the stable and private side of OFFSHIFT and also the public side of OFFSHIFT in the form of XFT token for all of us as traders who want to trade this ERC20 token in hopes of making a profit. So in order for ZK assets to be private, OFFSHIFT uses zero-knowledge proofs to keep ownership values and the value of transfers encrypted and confidential. Through a mint and burn mechanism, the ZK assets are and can only be created when XFT are burned. For every $1 in XFT sent to the burn address, 1 ZKUSD is minted and sent to an output address provided by the sender. So essentially, the ZK asset pegs are supported by their ability at any time to be redeemed for their equivalent value in XFT through the mint and burn mechanism. So now we're going to dive in a little bit deeper into the stablecoin part of OFFSHIFT and explain what the semi-decentralized Oracle network is and how it works and why they decided to choose this kind of network. So OFFSHIFT uses a semi-decentralized network of oracles to maintain stablecoin price. And so a semi-decentralized network of oracles is a network of oracles that is constructed to provide a continuous stream of price data, aggregate data, and determine the current price of assets to be pegged. The software is constructed to protect from unwanted and malicious external manipulation efforts. So how are the oracles semi-decentralized and why? The oracles are run on geographically distributed nodes, which collect data from various sources like CoinMarketCap and exchanges, and submit the data they collect into a fast key value database. The OFFSHIFT mint and burn contracts only accept an asset value if at the time of the mint and burn execution, all nodes agree on the data that's been collected. In the event that the nodes can't agree, the contract uses a moving average of the most recent agreed upon data. And so right here, if you're looking at the screen, they have this cool little graph that explains how the Oracle nodes work, how they're taking the data and then are presenting the data to us in these different forms. And so like we were just saying before, by using a distributed network of nodes in various sources rather than pulling data all from one place, we mitigate the risk of a malicious actor manipulating data from any single source. This is a way of OFFSHIFT taking away a lot of possible risks that we were seeing with other tokens. And so now we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty of how the mint and burn works. So through a process that's called shifting. OFFSHIFT users are able to shift back and forth between XFT tokens and ZK assets with the use of two Ethereum contracts, a mint contract and a burn contract, to discourage the use of mint and burn as a tool for flipping coins with the intent of acquiring more of either coin and thus increasing supply. A dynamic bridge fee is imposed on ZK asset to XFT conversion. The bridge fee diminishes to zero over a period of about 7 days, after which ZK-USD can be staked. And so right here they're explaining how the mint and burn process works. So us as users take our XFT and transfer it with the conversion of the mint and burn mechanism into ZK-USD. But on the contract side of things, it's showing that it's burning the XFT in order to mint the ZK-USD. So there's a direct correlation between the XFT token and the ZK-USD token. The bridge fee is imposed on newly minted ZK assets crossing back to the public side, which is reminting XFT from ZK assets. To eliminate the potential for the bridge to be gained for profit, the bridge fee diminishes to zero over a period of 40,320 blocks, or about 7 days, after which ZK assets can be staked. And so these bridge fees, if people decide to bypass the 7-day holding period, gets distributed to the stakers. These ZK assets serve as a private peer-to-peer currency in the same way as any other private currency, but are arguably far more usable and have a potential for much more adoption due to their compatibility with ERC20 wallets. By far the most commonly used and most actively developed cryptocurrency wallets. And one of the most appealing things with the ZK assets is the use case as a method of private wealth storage. Away from the prying eyes of government and untraceable with blockchain analytics, stable value, cryptographic privacy, and trustlessness make ZK assets similar but superior to offshore storage in a bank account. So right here, if you're looking at the screen, they have some graphs just explaining how the tokenomics work and where the tokens are going. So 15% are going to staking, 22.5 are going to development, the marketing ecosystem is getting 22.5, the team is getting 20%, liquidity is getting 5%, and then there's an excess of 15% that they don't say where that's going yet. But then they have this token release schedule that's just showing us at what rate the tokens are going to be released at. And then obviously here at the bottom, they have disclaimers just saying, you know, invest at your own risk and all that. So that's essentially what the white papers are. And just so you guys know, OFFSHIFT is created by an anonymous team, so we don't actually know who the team is. Just so you guys know, the creators of OFFSHIFT are anonymous. We don't know who developed it. We see this with all of the privacy coins because you don't want to be connected to a coin that's private, because the governments try and crack down on these type of coins because they want to know where all of the money is going. And so that's why you see anonymous teams that are the ones that are developing these types of projects. So right here, if we're going back to the OFFSHIFT website, they have a list of dates here that are trying to reach for targets of when they're expecting to release things. And so for those of you guys who are looking to start staking your ZK assets, it looks like the staking is going to be launched in Q3 or quarter 3 of 2021. So it looks like the ZK asset staking has not been released yet, but I just want to let you guys know because I know for me personally as an investor, I like to stake. And so I wanted to provide you guys with what I knew as far as what the staking capabilities were right now for OFFSHIFT. But that's pretty much all I've got for today's video, guys. What do you guys think of OFFSHIFT? Do you like their privacy? Do you like the staking model? Do you like the stability? Let me know down in the comments below. But as always, if you guys got value from today's video, then please make sure to leave that thumbs up button down below and subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future. I'm Travis Trades. I'll be seeing you guys very soon in the upcoming episode. Take it easy, guys.